Siley here. Happy Monday. Week 3 of online learning. As you can tell, Miss Siley is going slightly crazy. In fact, I decided to dress up a little bit today. I am wearing a really furry, giant, oversized hooded outfit. And the reason is because I wanted to dress the part for the book that I will be reading today. The setting of our book is none other than in the Arctic. And we can tell just by looking at the back of this book that there's igloos. It's actually freezing in the Arctic. Absolutely freezing. No one really lives there because of how cold it is. So, our story is called The Three Snow Bears. And it's very similar to a book, a very popular folktale named Goldilocks and the Three Little Bears. So maybe you have heard of it, maybe you haven't. Plot twist, we will be reading it tomorrow. So I do want you guys to pay attention to the setting. I want you to pay attention to the character. And I also want you to just learn about the culture, learn about the environment that is taking place in this book. Because the pictures are really, really cool, okay? So I'm just going to get started right away, okay? The Three Snow Bears by Jane Brett. Alright. If I hold it like this, you guys can probably see a little better, okay? Alright. So, come back, Aloki shouted as her huskies floated to sea. Oh no, she knew that although the ice floe is a good place to fish, it is a bad place to lose a dog team. Not far away, Snow Bear family had just started to eat their breakfast, but it was way too hot for Baby Bear. So, Aloki's right here. She's going to be our main girl. She is compared to Goldilocks, okay? And so she has a team of huskies. These are sled dogs, and they got on a piece of ice, and they are floating away. Here are our other main characters. These are our three bears, our three snow bears, and the bowl is too hot for Baby Bear. Ow, wee! Yelled Baby Bear. My breakfast burned my mouth. We'll go for a stroll and let the soup cool, Mama Bear said. So here we have their house. Here we have Mama Bear, Papa Bear, Baby Bear. Aloki was running along looking for her dogs when she came upon the biggest igloo she had ever seen. Who lives here? She wondered. Here's her giant igloo. Another thing you guys can pay attention to as I'm reading is it's kind of hard to see, I know, because it's through the video. But on the sides of each page, it actually has a picture of what's happening. So on this picture, we have the sled dogs, and they're still sleeping on a piece of ice. And here we have the bears, and they're going for a walk right now. So let's see what Aloki does. Aloki ducked inside right away. She smelled something delicious. Across the room, she saw a big bowl, a middle-sized bowl, and a small bowl. Surely the good smell was coming from the three bowls. She smells something. Here we have the bears going for a walk again. They're still walking. Here we have the sled dogs. They're waking up. It looks like they're howling. Aloki took a sip from the biggest bowl. Ow! She cried out. Too hot! She took a sip from the middle-sized bowl. Ew! Too cold! She tipped up the littlest bowl and drank every drop. She said, not too hot and not too cold. Here we have the bowls. Papa bears, Mama bears, and Baby bears. Here we have the bears. Looks like they got on a piece of ice. And it looks like they're about to go for a swim. In the next room, Aloki spotted 3 pairs of beautiful boots standing in a row. She put on the biggest boot. Too big, she said. She put on the middle-sized boot. Too fancy, she said. She put on the littlest pair. Just right, she said, wiggling her toes in the soft fur lining. So here we have the boots. I'm going to assume that this is Papa Bear's, Mama Bear's, and Baby Bear's. And then if you look really close, the bears are getting back onto the ice after their swim. A Loki walked into the last room and found a long sleeping bench piled high with fur covers. Heat from an oil lamp warmed her cheeks and made her sleepy. Time for a nap, she thought. She crawled under the highest mound of covers. Too lumpy, she grumbled. She tried the middle bed with the furry fringe cover, but sank down so far that she could hardly breathe. Too soft, she said. She rolled into the smallest sleeping place. The furry blanket was cozy and warm, and the pillow was just her size. Just right, a Loki murmured, and was asleep before she could take her boots off. So then again we have Papa Bear's bed, Mama Bear's bed, Baby Bear's bed. Okay? And if we look closely, look at this. We have the 3 bears and the 3 sled dogs. So as they were swimming, they must have ran into the dogs. And it looks like they're helping each other. But Loki's asleep right now, so I wonder what's going to happen. If a Loki hadn't fallen asleep, she might have heard her dogs barking happily. Papa Bear, Mama Bear, and Baby Bear had spotted them adrift in the strong current and gone out to save them. The Snow Bear family was pushing a Loki's dog team back toward their igloo and safety. So they're helping each other. Here we have the igloo and the dogs and the bears. But where's the Loki? Papa Bear crawled into the igloo and saw his big bowl sitting in a pool of spilled soup. "Someone has been tasting my soup," he roared. Mama Bear rushed in and saw her soup had been sloshed around too. "Someone has been sipping my soup," she crawled. "Someone found my soup," sputtered Baby Bear in her high, squeaky voice, "and they ate it all up." Papa Bear ran into the next room and saw his boots in the middle of the floor. "Someone has been trying on my boots," he boomed in his big bear voice. Mama Bear put on her fancy boots. "Someone has had these boots on," she huffed, "and the fur is all bunched up." Baby Bear saw that her boots had disappeared. "Someone has taken my boots and left behind these not as good ones," she wailed. So we have, those are Loki's boots. But we haven't seen a Loki in a couple of pages. Until the bears ran in their bedroom. "Someone has been sleeping in my bed," Papa Bear bellowed. "Someone has been sleeping in my bed too," Mama Bear cried. Baby Bear peeked at her little bed and squeaked, "Eee! Someone has been sleeping in my bed, and here she is!" A Loki opened her eyes and saw 3 bears' noses only inches away. Oh my goodness. Can you imagine waking up to this? Uh-oh. She hopped out of bed and dove between Papa Bear's huge, furry legs. Quicker than a seal, a Loki ran from room to room until she burst outside. Her huskies bounced around, barking and smiling their doggy grins. Loki and her dogs flew over the frozen ice, dodging ridges and cracks. She looked back to wave a thank you to the snow bears. She couldn't see them, but she heard a big, gruff voice, a middle-sized voice, and a high, squeaky voice calling to her. Bye-bye! 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 That, boys and girls, is the end of the 3 snow bears. Ooh, it's a little bit longer story, isn't it? This story is about a girl named Loki. And when she lost her dogs, instead of looking for her dogs, she got distracted, right? Because she saw this giant igloo. Should she have even gone in the igloo? If you see a house open, you probably shouldn't go inside a house if you do not know the owners. And you also shouldn't try other people's food or try on their clothes or try on their beds. So it looks like Loki needed to learn a lesson on manners because she just walked into some stranger's igloo. So I think she learned her lesson though, because that would be pretty scary to wake up and see these 3 giant bears looking at me. Anyways, okay, thank you for listening to this story taking place in the Arctic. I'm burning up in this giant sweatshirt now. And so you guys can hop off here and go onto the Google form and do your comprehension questions. Okay? Okay. Bye, guys. See you tomorrow.